Tonight at 5, Epic is expanding its campus in Verona. We'll take a closer look at the project.
Plus, a push for funding for the Department of Justice's Office of School Safety and how soon it could run out of money.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. A weather alert day is coming up later in the week.
It's expected to bring a few more inches of snow to southern Wisconsin. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canulty is out on the weather patio with our first warn weather. Gary?
Boy, it's hard to believe. We got a sunny day today. Temperatures are in the mid-40s. We'll still be mild for tomorrow, but things will start to change on Thursday. It looks like that winter storm will be moving in a little more quickly than it looked like yesterday. Let's start out by taking a look at that first warn weather alert day. This is for accumulating snow now from Thursday afternoon through Friday morning. Still looking at a moderate snowfall, probably about 3 to 6 inches. There could be some pockets of heavier snow, but all of southern Wisconsin is going to be affected. Already winter storm watches have been issued for the western parts of our viewing area from noon on Thursday through 6 a.m. early on Friday morning. No watches yet for the Madison area, but we are certainly looking at accumulating snow here. Visible cloud track shows we had plenty of sunshine today. A pretty nice day, but clouds are starting to thicken up out to the west, and they'll be moving in overnight. High temperatures today on the mild side. Madison 45, Janesville 48 degrees. Just about everybody hit the 40-degree mark across southern Wisconsin, and current temperatures are still in the upper 30s to lower 40s. The upper 30s up in Juneau and Adams counties, but here in Dane County, Madison's at 43. It's 46 in Edgerton, 43 in Verona, and 43 in Cross Plains. Look for mostly cloudy skies this evening. Temperatures dropping into the lower 30s. Tomorrow should still be dry, but it's Thursday afternoon into Friday morning, the time period we really have to watch more on the timing of the snow and how much we can expect in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. One of Dane County's biggest private companies continues to grow. Epic is expanding its Verona campus, and with it, adding some staff.
Our Catherine Merck went to Epic's campus today to check in on the construction progress, and she has the story.
The new buildings through Epic Systems will aim to grow its workforce by 6.5% in 2023.
We're looking to grow by about 1,700 people.
3 new buildings will allow more space, private offices, and a restaurant for the medical software company's employees. The buildings will match the company's unique reputation of designs straight out of a storybook. With 11,600 employees, Epic is one of the area's largest employers, which means the development is only bringing bigger things for the company.
The employees, we want them to feel like they're coming home to work. We love the Verona community, we love the campus, and it's just the continued growth of the company.
These current projects under construction are expected to be completed in 2024. Reporting in Verona, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
Expanding Epic also means more conversations about where those employees will live.
Catherine will have more from Verona's mayor about housing in the area. That's coming up tonight at 6.
New today, Aaron Rodgers' future as a Packer took another turn this week after he reportedly spoke with the New York Jets. Former ESPN host Trey Wingo said Rodgers is open to moving to New York following those talks. According to ESPN, the Jets asked the Packers about Rodgers' availability last month. And the Packers general manager said, quote, all options are on the table when it comes to Aaron Rodgers.
Parts of State Street were evacuated this morning after officials say someone hit a gas line. It happened in the 600 block of State Street just after 9:30. The street reopened around 10:30, but crews had entrances to Pure Green and the City Bar taped off. Madison fire officials say a gas line inside the building was hit during construction. In Rock County, the medical examiner is releasing the name of the person who died in a crash Sunday morning. 19-year-old Jorge Susanaga of Woodstock, Illinois, died after a 2-vehicle crash on Highway 67 near South Northrop Road. An investigation found that his vehicle crossed the center line and hit another vehicle going the other way. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries. Attorney General Josh Kaul and advocates are calling on the Joint Finance Committee to approve $2.2 million to fund the Wisconsin Office of School Safety. The office was created in the wake of the 2018 Parkland, Florida school shooting, but is at risk of closing. Kaul says the money will run out by the end of the year. The father of one of the Parkland shooting victims also spoke today about the importance of the office.
We've already experienced 100 mass shootings around our country. And thank God in Wisconsin, you haven't had a horrible tragedy in a school. But we know, based on decades of research, that the next school mass murderer is already out there. The gun that he's going to use is already out there. And now is the time to fully fund the Office of School Safety, but they need more help.
Since its creation, the Office of School Safety has distributed $100 million in federal grants for safety enhancements at schools. They also offer de-escalation training for teachers and have established a 24-hour tip line for students and faculty members.
The U.S. State Department confirms 2 of the 4 Americans who were kidnapped while traveling in Mexico are now back in the U.S. The remains of the other 2 citizens have been recovered and are in the process of being returned home. According to the FBI, the 4 were kidnapped after driving into Matamoros from Texas, where gunfire broke out between 2 rival drug cartel groups. Video appears to show gunmen loading the Americans into the back of a pickup truck.
DEA and the FBI are doing everything possible to dismantle and disrupt and ultimately prosecute the leaders of the cartels and the entire networks that they depend on.
The Americans have been identified as Latavia McGee, Shaeed Woodard, Zindell Brown, and Eric James Williams. McGee's aunt believes the group went to Mexico for cosmetic surgery, a common practice because procedures are less expensive south of the border. Mexican authorities say they have 1 suspect in custody.
New at 5, the White House is calling for an independent investigation after a new wave of suspected poisonings in Iran that appears to be targeting girls. Iranian officials say more than 1,200 girls across at least 60 schools have been affected across the country. Many students described a burning smell, numbness, and temporary paralysis.
Tear gas, particularly badly made tear gas, would create these sort of symptoms without killing people, and possibly other chemicals like sulfur dioxide, and some people have also suggested nitrogen dioxide.
Iran's supreme leader weighed in, saying if true, those behind this crime should be sentenced to death. But some are accusing the country's government of the attack, suggesting a possible act of revenge for the popular wave of women-led anti-regime protests since last summer.
Senator Tammy Baldwin and a bipartisan group of senators are introducing new legislation for foreign technology. It's called the Restrict Act. The legislation would give the federal government the authority to tighten controls over companies that operate within hostile foreign countries and collect the personal data of Americans. And that includes the popular social media app TikTok. There are concerns the app has ties to the Chinese government.
It's our job to ensure reasonable guardrails are in place to protect public safety, especially when it comes to foreign-owned entities that could weaponize Americans' data.
The Biden administration supports the Senate bill and is urging Congress to pass it.
We heard frustration from the governor today as he pushed Republicans to do more than just say no.
And this comes as both sides of the aisle are debating different tax cuts and spending proposals that will carry the state forward the next 2 years. With more on where they stand, political reporter Will Keneally joins us now from the Capitol with more. Will?
So we've heard in the past few weeks that traditional back and forth between the governor and Republicans in the legislature over how to spend the state's record-setting $7 billion budget surplus. But as we heard from the governor today, that he just wants that forward progress.
Instead of saying we don't have enough money, tell me what the damn plan is.
We don't usually hear such strong words from the governor. He was joking himself that he's pretty mild-mannered. But he said at a WISC Politics event today that he wants forward action on the state budget.
I think it's way premature to say there's not enough money since we know that there is $7 billion there. So I'm hopeful. I mean, this will be a good budget. I'm just asking the legislature to have discussions, have public hearings.
Since Governor Evers delivered his budget address in mid-February, Republicans on the Budget Writing Committee have said that they are scrapping his proposal and starting from scratch. But the governor will eventually have to sign off on that budget, meaning there needs to be some compromise. Evers is hopeful that we could see that on state aid to municipalities.
Yes, there will be a change in shared revenue. There's no question about it.
We just don't know yet what that compromise will look like. Evers says, though, he's seen an improvement in the dialogue since a contentious first term.
I think the tenor of the conversation is a little better than it has been. I think the Republicans were really hoping that I would be defeated, and now they realize they're stuck with me for at least 4 more years, and decide that it's not worth the effort to be particularly divisive in their rhetoric.
So the legislature is currently holding budget listening sessions, and we expect their work in earnest to start within the next few months here. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. The weather may be starting to warm up a little bit, but the need for help to cover heating and cooling costs doesn't go away. News 3 is once again partnering with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and Energy Service, Inc. for a day of warmth, a telethon, and a donation drive to raise money for those in need across the state. It will be held this Thursday afternoon between 4 and 6:30 p.m., but you can donate ahead of time. We have all of the information on channel3000.com.
Gary has more on an upcoming alert day. That's next at 5.
Plus, the chairman of the Federal Reserve faced questions from lawmakers today about inflation and the direction of the economy. We'll have details on that when we come back. And later, why a Methodist church in Madison is cutting ties with its denomination. We'll have that story tonight at 6.
And a rough day for the markets after the Fed's tough talk on interest rates. The Dow tumbles some 575 points. The Nasdaq falls 145. S&P loses 62. And we'll be right back.
The Big Share and Online Day of Giving is March 7th. Advance social and environmental justice by supporting the nearly 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin. Even a $5 donation can make change happen. Donate now through March 7th at thebigshare.org.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today. Patio enclosures.
Extremist Dan Kelly wants abortion banned, even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. For years, Kelly was on the payroll of a radical anti-abortion group working to take away women's rights. On the court, Kelly will uphold Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban that strips women of their freedom to make personal decisions on abortion. Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
The real value of a number all depends on who you are. After an accident, there's one critical number that helps you get your life back by factoring in your needs for today and tomorrow. That's where Habish & Rotier's numbers really add up. With over 90 years of client successes and 13 offices to help you wherever you are. Trust Habish Personal Injury Attorneys to get the number that's right for you. Call 1-800-2HABISH.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
Memories matter. This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
A winter storm is expected from Thursday afternoon through Friday morning. At 6, I'll let you know when the snow will start and how much snow to expect.
Then following a nationwide trend, a local church leaves its denomination. Gay marriage at the heart of conflict, tonight at 6.
Their daughter has Rett syndrome.
She's all there mentally, but she's locked inside a body.
News 3 Now's Arman Rahman shares a family's struggle to move forward and the financial roadblocks that come with the diagnosis. Driven to Care, Thursday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says the state is done doing business with Walgreens. He tweeted the state won't work with Walgreens or any company, he says, that cowers to extremists and puts women's lives at risk. It comes after the pharmacy chain's decision last week to not distribute abortion medication in 20 states. That came after GOP attorneys general from those states sent a letter to Walgreens executives last month threatening potential legal action if they mailed abortion pills in their respective states. They argued it would violate federal law.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell in the hot seat on Capitol Hill today as the economy continues to serve up mixed messages. Powell says more rate hikes are likely, but worries are continuing to grow over what that could mean for the economy. Mike Valerio has the latest.
The economy is running red hot. Inflation heating up in January, along with consumer spending and job growth. But cooling it down may be painful.
Although inflation has been moderating in recent months, the process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy.
In his testimony before the Senate Banking Committee on Tuesday, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell took a hawkish stance on battling inflation as the central bank awaits key pieces of economic data, like the February jobs report due out this week.
If the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we'd be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes.
Powell confident the Fed will be able to rein in inflation and get the economy on track.
There are some things that we can't affect, but over time we can achieve 2% inflation, and we will.
But the bank's aggressive position sparking fears of recession and job loss.
Cooling the economy means laying off workers. When you're slowing the economy, you're trying to put people out of work. That's your job, is it not?
You are gambling with people's lives.
Though Powell remains optimistic,
we actually don't think that we need to see a sharp or enormous increase in unemployment.
Some economists warn continuing to hike interest rates is still likely to bring about a downturn.
My guess is that the process of bringing down inflation will bring on a recession at some stage, as it almost always has in the past.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Nice out there today, but alert days are on the horizon. Here's Gary with your forecast.
Yeah, mild day today. Tomorrow will be another mild day. Doesn't seem like a winter storm is on the way, but one is. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for a cloudy day tomorrow. It'll be mild with high temperatures in the middle 40s, but Thursday, we'll see a mix of rain and snow in the afternoon, changing over to snow by late afternoon or evening. It'll snow steadily through Thursday night and then start to wind down on Friday morning. At that point, most of the accumulating snow will be over with, and then cold weather's on the way for the weekend with highs in the middle 30s and maybe some light snow about Sunday. But we do have first warned weather alert days in the forecast now for Thursday afternoon through Friday morning for a moderate intensity snowfall, probably about 3 to 6 inches. There could be some pockets of heavier snow and an outside chance that the storm could have heavier snow than what we're anticipating, but all of southern Wisconsin is going to be affected by it. Still looking at a general 3 to 6 inch snowfall through much of the Midwest. This is a much larger storm system than the last couple of them. So 3 to 6 inches, a pretty good bet right now. Heavier snow right now still favoring parts of southern Minnesota and parts of northern Iowa. Heavier snow back to the west into parts of South Dakota and North Dakota where maybe over 9 inches of snow may fall. But you can see we're not going to be alone in getting accumulating snow through most of the Midwest. The lighter amounts up toward Lake Superior and then down south of the Chicago area where temperatures will be warm enough for a mixture of rain and snow. But the computer models still have a little bit of a disagreement. They're all in line that we're going to get at least some snow. The European computer model, about a general 2 to 4 inch snowfall across southern Wisconsin. Our Future Track computer model showing generally about 2 to 4 inches with pockets of up to about 6 inches in some spots. The GFS computer model, the U.S. government one, just updated and showing general 4 to 6 inch snow, maybe a little bit heavier down toward the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And then you have the North American Mesoscale and NAM computer model showing a much bigger snowstorm. This has to take into account a lot of things coming together to get this kind of an amount, but right now I'm thinking this is much less likely. Again, a 3 to 6 inch snowfall, probably more likely across our area. And again, the storm's still back out to the north and west, in the northwestern part of the country. It'll grab the jet stream and then basically head northeastward into the Midwest, taking a very favorable path, merging with another weather system to the south that's right now producing some rain, but the air is still pretty dry across our part of the Midwest, so it'll take a while before we get precipitation in here on Thursday. Already, winter storm watches have been issued for our western viewing area, west of Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line from noon until noon Thursday until 6 a.m. on on Friday morning. Planning your night across Dane County, just cloudy skies, low 30 in Windsor, 30 in Middleton, 29 degrees in Waterloo. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, the low 32 in Janesville, 31 in Monroe, and 27 degrees in Camp Douglas. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, still mild though, high temperature at 44. And then as we take a look at future track beginning at noon Thursday, you can see the snow starting to come in from the west. Temperatures right around freezing or a little bit below. The snow widespread overnight into early Friday morning. But notice by 6, 7 a.m., the snow starts to break up a little bit out to the west and then starts to wind down by about noon. Probably looking at a general 3 to 6 inch snowfall across most of southern Wisconsin. Our first warned 7 to 10 day forecast. In the wake of the storm, look for highs in the middle 30s over the weekend. Again, some light snow on Sunday. Temperatures stay on the cold side for next week. Next weather system bringing some snow on Thursday, maybe mixed with a little bit of rain in the afternoon, ending in some snow early on Friday morning. As we check out first warned traffic right now, things looking pretty good on the area roads. This is the live view of the Beltline at Stoughton Road. Flex lanes are open, traffic heavy, but moving pretty steadily in both directions. Just a little bit of a slowdown eastbound as you approach Stoughton Road on the Beltline. No problems on I-39, 90, 94 east side of Madison. 15-minute drive either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and I-39, 90. Heading south on I-39, 90 from the Beltline to Janesville takes you 25 minutes. US 12 Middleton to Sauk City is a 16-minute trip. Downtown to Sun Prairie and East Washington Avenue, US 151 takes you 18 minutes. That's your News 3 Now first warned traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. Happening today, an online day of giving focused on social and environmental justice. Community Shares of Wisconsin and nearly 70 other nonprofits are hosting the Big Share. The day-long telethon aims to raise more than $650,000 to support local causes that our communities care about the most. The project asks for a minimum donation of $5. If you'd like to donate, go to thebigshare.org. So far today, the project has raised more than $476,000.
It is Women's History Month. Next, we'll meet a woman who has sent aftershocks through the study of earthquakes. That's coming up at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Dutch Boy Paint gives every room of your home a fresh, new look. With over 1,300 colors to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect look for your interior. Pick up a gallon and update your home with DuraClean Interior Paint. Just $21.97 after 11% rebate. For a paint that's washable, scrubbable, and stain-resistant, choose Forever Interior Paint and Primer in one. Create a new look for your home for $29.98 per gallon after 11% rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Ken Pearrett, and this is my John Deere. We run about 3,000 acres of crop ground and 100 head of beef cattle. Number one thing that stands out when it comes to Sloan's is service. And we had some issues with the new ExactEmerge planter, and Kyle himself, the store manager, and one of the lead mechanics on the planters, came down on a Sunday afternoon, and they got us going. And that's going above and beyond. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
A convicted felon kidnapped and raped a 15-year-old girl, abducting her off the street in broad daylight. Judge Janet Protasewicz could have sentenced him to 20 years. Instead, she put him back on our streets.
What detractors would say is you having been soft on a violent sexual crime.
I would say that that's ridiculous. Judge Protasewicz puts our families at risk, and putting her on our Supreme Court, that's what's ridiculous. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There's nothing like hitting the waves.
There's nothing like volunteering, but my moderate to severe eczema can make it hard.
Now, I'm staying ahead of it.
Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, so you can have clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
Dad always said I was special, that I would do something big someday. But for a while, we were just worried about getting to tomorrow. At UW Health, we found the team that made it their mission. Not just to get me through the day, but to give me a new life and a new kidney. Now, my future is infinite. UW Health. Remarkable.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
March is Women's History Month, a time to celebrate the contributions of women to history, culture, and society.
And today we look at how one woman has changed how people prepare and respond to earthquakes. Danya Backus shares her story.
When it comes to earthquakes,
one should always be preparing for a big one.
Dr. Lucy Jones is who Californians have turned to for information for more than 30 years.
It is not on the San Andreas Fault.
As a world-renowned seismologist, she's brought comfort and counsel to a rattled public. But even she'll tell you she never imagined a career like this.
Absolutely not. I mean, a research scientist, recognition is having your paper cited in some other paper. And that's what I thought I was going to be.
Growing up, she wanted to become an astrophysicist, but in college decided on geophysicist. It was then she realized she was breaking barriers.
I was always the only woman in my physics classes as an undergraduate. And when I got to MIT, there was one woman in seismology. If anything, it fueled me. And again, my parents, especially my father, it was like, yeah, women don't do science, but you're my daughter. My daughter's going to do it.
And she's shown women belong in science. Through her decades of research and public advocacy for risk reduction, she's been able to change policy and create the Great Shakeout, now a worldwide earthquake drill.
Did you ever think you would have an impact like this?
It's hard to know what impact you're having at this stage. You know, I would like to think there's a difference.
Her next mission? Using music to bring together scientists, artists, and people from around the world in hopes of inspiring understanding and action on climate change.
How would you like to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as a scientist rather than just a communicator, but a scientist who cared about the science getting used.
And it's her use of science that will help us in the future. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Women's History Month has been observed annually in the month of March since 1987.
We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break.
Us. This isn't us. Is it? Uh-huh. Let's take a break from our devices for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. And let's see what we find.
Hey, bud.
U.S. Cellular. Built for us.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate spring with our big spring thaw sale. We're talking about savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board with our spring thaw sale. Save 23% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
The Big Share and Online Day of Giving is March 7th. Advance social and environmental justice by supporting the nearly 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin. Even a $5 donation can make change happen. Donate now through March 7th at thebigshare.org.
This is Matt Gunderson, and this is Elmer, our canine cuddle ambassador, here to provide good-natured, loving, fuzzy support to further our level of personal care. Someday you might meet Elmer as we assist you with an individual life celebration.
Dan Kelly won't keep our community safe. As a lawyer, Kelly defended child sex predators who posed as ministers in order to prey on vulnerable young girls. They lured young children to locations they believed to be safe, only to sexually assault and molest them. And Dan Kelly defended those monsters. Do you want someone like that on the Supreme Court? Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
There are so many things we take for granted.
so many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click.
Amazing. Can it go back in the bag?
Yeah, it can go back in the bag.
Okay.
The new Samsung Galaxy S23, free for everyone from US Cellular.
We've got a lot of news to cover tonight. More Americans are working from home. Tonight, how that's hurting Main Street. CBS's Carter Evans shows us how cities are working to save America's downtowns. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And Gary's back. One final check of the forecast.
Nice out there right now. Let's take a look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam. You can see we're going to have a pretty sunset in the west. There's the live view from the WISC-TV Skycam. Again, some sunshine showing on through, but the Platteville-Quimby Radio Skycam, a little more cloud cover there. Those are the clouds that will be coming in and be with us for a while. Current temperatures are still pretty mild. 30s near Lake Michigan, but inland, most areas seeing temperatures in the 40s, even as far north as the Baraboo Dells Airport. Here in Dane County, we're seeing temperatures ranging from 46 in Edgerton to 43 in Verona, 43 in Belleville, and 43 in Wanakee. Mostly cloudy skies this evening. Temperatures dropping off into the lower 30s, but winter storm watch already in effect west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line from noon Thursday until 6 a.m. on Friday morning. Could be looking at 3 to 6 inches of snow or more across much of southern Wisconsin.
All right, Gary, we'll have more updates in 30 minutes on News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell is next.